Oh, my bad.
Well,
My bad.
speaking of another quarterback who had a lot of interceptions, on Instagram at BigMun73 says, at least it won't be the Chiefs and Eagles in the Super Bowl this year. And I think that has a lot more to do with the former rather than the latter, being Kansas City. As on Sunday Night Football, the Texans beat the Chiefs 20 to
Barn
10.
burner.
And Patrick Mahomes, he was out there slinging interceptions left and right. Some of them were not his fault, especially the last one, as Travis Kelce had the catch as Toddy was just mimicking. He basically bobbled it and let the Texans cornerback come in and
Petrie.
intercept it right behind him. Yeah, Petrie. He basically just handed it to him. But nevertheless, the Texans beat the Chiefs 20 to 10. And the episode title for today says, "Are the Chiefs cooked?" I think it's time to edit it to "The Chiefs are cooked," at least in my opinion. But Jaevon, what say you? What was your reaction to this one?
Well, I think you got to give a lot of credit to this defense. I think D'Amico Ryans, as us Niner fans know, what he's capable of on the defensive end of the ball. I do think the addition of getting your star quarterback back in C.J. Stroud does help a lot. Nico Collins had over 100 yards in this game. Um, I Woody Marks was out there making plays. I do think I think we saw with the Chiefs. Hey man, I'm gonna keep going back to the same analogy. Chiefs are that kid at the country club whose card keeps getting declined, and he keeps screaming and yelling at him. Do you know who my father is? Do you know what I've been through? Do you know what I've been and what my family does? And nobody wants to hear it, man. They're just like, you're old news, you're washed. It's like when Andy is dropping Buzz and Woody in the dream and says, I don't want to play with you anymore. And just drops them. Hey, man. NFL will chew you up and switch you out any which way. And a lot of people are starting to come for Andy Reid. And I'm like, whoa, hey, this is one of the greatest coaches ever. They're saying they didn't like, I understand where fans are coming from going for it on fourth down in literally like on your own 20-yard line. But they literally couldn't get the ball moving in any way possible. I did see another stat that Patrick Mahomes, the first time ever in his career, he had like 10 straight incompletions. That was pretty insane. But a lot of those were just drops and interceptions, and they kind of all added up together to obviously be incompletions. But I've been kind of just hinting at it that, hey, man, the Chiefs aren't that good. Hey, guys, Chiefs are, oh, well, it's Patrick Mahomes, man. Don't even worry about it. It's Patty Mahomes. And hey, guys, Chiefs keep losing games. I don't know what it is. They're 6-7, guys. When are we going to? I still think people are gambling on the Chiefs to win or to win the Super Bowl still. Well, it's Patrick. All they got to do is get in the dance, man. But it's just they got all these losses, and these teams that they're looking up at, like the Jags, like the Colts, or I mean, they beat the Colts, but I mean, the Texans are another team that are kind of fighting and scrapping and clawing for that last playoff spot. And it's getting to a point where the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs. And this might be good for them. This might just be good. Maybe they need a top 15 pick, a top 12, 11, 13. Like, they might need just a little bit of a reset and say, hey, as I am looking at my phone, as Kevin and Shaun are both looking at our phones, and they are going crazy in Stats Over Politics group chat. Kevin is not going to let up. It doesn't matter
I
what it is. It doesn't matter what's going on. We could be
Man,
talking,
Toddy,
we could
I,
be
I
live on air, and Kevin's going to just he's going at it with any and everybody. These are our people
yeah,
that are watching the show currently. But as far as the Chiefs, and they gotta I don't know what it is because they're not buttoned up all the way. They're a bunch of older superstars who are like past their prime, like Chris Jones. There's Travis Kelce. You know, they haven't really been performing and Patrick Mahomes hasn't been performing like the quarterback that we've seen in past years. So I just think this is the year for them to kind of like, hey, maybe this just ain't it. I don't think they realize that yet, but they are 7-6 or 6-7, and it's starting to get to the point where like, okay, let's take a step back. I'm not saying they punt on the season, but it's just like, all right, we're probably not going to make the playoffs. Let's just regroup. We'll get back into next year and we'll figure it out from there. But there's definitely going to be changes to this roster going into the offseason. As far as the Texans go, Texans are right. Those couple of weeks where CJ Stroud was out of the lineup, they had Davis Mills, and they kind of were, carried by that defense. It helped a ton. And as you're seeing with the Colts starting to free fall a little bit, so that's just there's gonna be a team that's probably gonna end up trading places with them, unless the Colts, go out and get Phillip Rivers and maybe he's able to salvage their season. I'm not sure about that, but the Chiefs are cooked.
At least Joe Flacco. At least we've seen him play. Phillip Rivers ain't touched football.
I know they went straight to Phillip Rivers, who was retired and is a high school football coach at the time.
Well, it's also because we've surpassed the trade deadline, and like I saw someone say, would it be wrong for the Colts to call the Bengals and say, hey, could you please just release Joe Flacco? Like, Burrow's back now. Like, just release him so we can sign him. But obviously that's not going to be the case. So old man Rivers with his 47 children is going to go out there. And Toddy, I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought. I looked down at my phone and I saw that there was 30 messages from the Stats
Kevin's going at it.
Group chat.
It's not Kevin going at it. It's that people want to message during the game. So I got to scroll back, and I just can't let people just spew out.
Doesn't matter if
we're
live on there. Kevin's gonna defend his team, no matter what's going on. He's gonna be there.
This has nothing to do with the Eagles. You're not even reading the chat. Nothing to do with the Eagles. People talking about Dak Prescott.
Well, as Kevin was alluding to, he doesn't really look at his phone during Eagle games. He just doesn't look at his phone at all. So he saw the messages from during the game, and then he responded to a couple from after the game. There were people in our fantasy football group chat who started saying, "Oh, I'll take 15 quarterbacks over Jalen Hurts." And then Kevin's reply was, "I'll take 16 over Dak Prescott." And so then someone told him to name them. And so then Kevin proceeds to name 16 quarterbacks. And he even threw in Fernando Mendoza of Indiana University, the number one team in the country, which we'll get to the college football playoff bracket a little bit later. But just keeping things moving, Kevin, what was your reaction?
Dude, the Chiefs stink. And they're going to find a way to make the playoffs. There's not a way in the world where they don't make the playoffs, because the Texans have to play the Jags, I think, twice to end the year. So the Chiefs win out and the Jags lose both of those games, or the Texans lose both of those games. It's going to be a toss-up. And it does, unfortunately, suck because the Texans have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs. So the Texans would essentially have to just win out and the Jags start to lose, because I speak for all three of us, I believe. I don't think the Colts are going to win another game. They're crumbling at this point. But the Chiefs have a lot to go, and I don't know where they go from here, because Travis Kelce's not going to come back. They have no running game. Jonathan Simmons from the Ohio State got hurt. So everything that they had going for them is falling apart, and this defense is abysmal. And you have to pay a lot of guys. So do you pay these guys? Do you let the guys like Chris Jones and Travis Kelce leave? Does Patrick Mahomes want to stick around for that? Is Andy Reid going to stick around for that? Like, there's a lot of questions that come around before we even talk about what this Chiefs team's going to be. So they have to go all in and gather all that dark magic that they can.
I feel like at this point, it's not even going to be an option for the Chiefs of whether they bring Travis Kelce back. I feel like he's walking away after this season. He's going to retire. And Chris Jones, I don't know about him, but Travis Kelce.
Talk to Jalen Hurts, bro. It's been downhill.
Yeah, well, the Eagles are currently on a 3-game losing streak, but the Eagles can have their head held high, not only as the reigning Super Bowl champions, but
how does the conversation go back to the Eagles?
Because you just mentioned Jalen Hurts, but the reason
the 3-game losing streak.
Okay, but I was building up to prop y'all up. You just had to give me a moment.
Then prop us up to start and then go down.
So you would rather have me prop you up and then cut you down at the end?
Yeah,
And
I'm
have
already
it end?
down. So I'm saying, Kevin, you know
Okay,
what? The
all
Eagles are
right.
really
As
good.
you guys can see,
But
Kevin
you have a
is hurt
3-game
right
losing
now.
streak. So you
He's
know
on a
this.
3-game losing streak. He doesn't know what to say. Everyone's kicking. Everyone's punching at him. Everyone's punching down at him.
Well, I wanted to
essentially,
try and well, yeah, for another couple months while the Eagles are the reigning champions. But Kevin, all I was gonna say is that okay, I already said what I said. Despite where the Eagles are today, after the last 3 weeks, they are the reigning Super Bowl champions. And if Travis Kelce retires, then the Eagles basically ended the Chiefs as we know them. Patrick Mahomes may go on to win more Super Bowls in his career, but it's not going to be the same Chiefs team without Travis Kelce. And the Eagles are the ones who ended that. And so for that, I give you a golf clap because
that's what I'm talking
that's
about.
something.
There you go.
That's something that the 49ers could not do. As Mako Tati makes a quick appearance here on the podcast. Shout out to him, the new big brother. But yeah, that's something that my 49ers could not do, Kevin. And so props to the Eagles for that. And you know the craziest part, the only thing I'll really add on about this game, because I know we got to keep it moving, but the emotion that I felt throughout this game was almost like I just expected the Chiefs to just get going. I expected them to get going late, and I just expected them to find a way to win the game. And I felt that way when I was watching the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving as well, because going into that Cowboys game, everyone was saying, oh, the Chiefs are going to win out. They're going to make the playoffs. Then going into the Texans game, it was the same narrative. Now, even after they lost both of those games, everyone's still feeling the same way about the Chiefs, where it's like they're still going to find, until they are mathematically eliminated. I think it's fair for a lot of people to still expect the Chiefs to find a way to get into the playoffs. Who knows what they're going to do this year when they get there, because they'll be on the road the entire time if they get there, because now they officially cannot win the AFC West again. But the feeling that I had watching that game was not only expecting the Chiefs to find a way to win that game, but also, Toddy, I don't know if you felt this way at all, but it almost felt bittersweet to me, like seeing the end of this Chiefs run that they've been on currently. And it was bittersweet just for the fact of I was thinking to myself, fuck, why couldn't the 49ers do this? Why couldn't they be the ones to end it? They had them on the ropes, sent the Super Bowl into overtime, and then they didn't know the damn rules. And so it's like, yeah, I'm happy for the Chiefs' misery and to see them fall. But it just makes me think back to those 2 Super Bowl losses and just think, like, why couldn't this have happened sooner? That's and I want to be happier about the Chiefs' fall from grace, but I just keep thinking back to what our team couldn't do. And that's me personally, but that's what I wanted to share regarding the Texans beating the Chiefs 20-10. I'm happy for DeMeco Ryans to try and exercise some of those demons by taking out Kansas City on Sunday Night Football.